Welcome to another episode of Business Monday, where we're here to empower you in your business. Business, as we know, is not easy, but we want to be able to help you with ideas from different experts joining together and to share with you some of their successful tips. So today I have Danika here. Hi, Danika. Thank you
Hi,
so much for joining our show today. Please tell us a bit about you.
Hi there, Martha. Thank you for having me. My name's Danika. I've worked in TV as a producer and director for 20 years and have recently moved into running my own business. My business is called Big Stories, Little Films. We turn life stories into television quality short films. So they're an incredible way to capture stories of, say, your parents or often older generations make for perfect subjects, but really anyone can make a film about their life. And it's a great way to pass it on to the next generation.
Oh, when we actually do something like this, it often trigger fear in people's head. They're like, "Oh, who am I to share my story? Who will want to listen to my story?" So can you tell us why film is such a powerful medium to actually share a life story?
That's a great question, and I have encountered that a lot. Often older people, let's say in their 70s and 80s, they are not used to being in the spotlight, not as comfortable as you and I in the era of Instagram, where we get quite used to seeing ourselves on a screen. Often they are very humble and they think, "Oh, I'm not that special. I don't make a fuss over me." But these films are created for the people that love them and for their family. So it's not like you need an incredible CV to make a beautiful film that's going to be really powerful and cherished. So that's the first thing. Everyone has a story, and the people who love you really want to hear that story and remember it. And film is such a powerful medium to tell stories. Often people, when you get older, you might say, "Oh, I might write my memoirs," and that's great. Written word is a great thing, but obviously writing memoirs takes a lot of time, and it doesn't translate as powerfully as film does, at least not for many people. So my films are quite short, they're 12 to 30 minutes, and you can put them on, and anyone, any age, is going to engage with it. It's got music, it looks and feels like TV, so it's entertaining as well.
Excellent. So, what do the person like when they come to you? They have this idea of creating a film or documentary for their family. What are some of the process they need to go through? Because, like, even for me, I go in, I'm like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. So, take us to the journey of what the customers will experience.
Yeah. Well, hold your hand every step of the way. I think some people think, "Oh, I'm going to need to prepare this big monologue telling the story from beginning to end." And because I've worked in TV for a long time and interviewing is my favorite thing, you never get lost. You don't really need to prepare very much. I'll step you through. Some people do prepare though. Some people love to really think about what they want to say, and that's also great too. So the stages are 50% of our films are commissioned by the people in the film, and the other half are a gift. So you might come to me and say, I'd love to make a film about my mum. She's got an incredible story. I really want to pass it down to my grandchildren one day, if you're lucky enough to have grandchildren. And so the steps would be you'd talk to your mum. You'd say, "Look, this is what we want to do. Is that okay?" Your mum might say, "You're crazy, but sure, if it's important to you, then of course." Usually that's the sort of conversation that follows. I would then, if your mum wanted to, I'd get in touch and introduce myself. I think it can be quite intimidating to imagine some TV crew rocking up to your house. So I call them and say, "It's actually just me. I come with the whole kit in my little trolley. I don't take over your house." Um, I talk to you about why you're making the film. Every film is unique to the people in the films. So I would talk to you and your mum and I'd say, "Well, what's your priority? Do you want to make this a film about your ancestors, or do you want to make this a film about what you did, or do you want to make this a film about passing on wisdom or advice?" And so we really work together to make sure that this film is what you want, because I'm making a film for you. It's not one size fits all. And once everyone feels like, yeah, that's really what we want, I'm excited about that. I'll send you through some questions to prepare. Some people don't even read them. They just say turn up and we'll have fun on the day, and that's great. And some people really do prepare, and that's fine too. And then I send them a guide of what photos work well in film. So rather than the photo album never getting looked at, I say, look, pick 40 photos from your life and your family's life. We'll put those into the film too. So I send you some information about what type of photos work well in case you want to get your photos ready. And then I come and it's half a day of filming, and it's generally really, really fun. And sometimes moving. All sorts of stuff come up in our chats, and reflecting on what you love about your life and what you'd like to pass on is quite a special sacred space almost. And so it can be an emotional and often really fun day. And so yeah, we just film for a few hours, and then you leave it with me and I make it something special, and I come back to you a few weeks later. You review the film, tell me if you want anything changed, and then it's yours. And we also make mini versions of the films that you can put on social media too.
That sounds like a great. So why would people want to actually do a story documentary like this? Like,
Mm.
what is that message behind it to actually bring them together?
Well, I think it's often for the people that you love. So it's not really for the person in the film. They will probably enjoy the process and find it kind of curious to watch how it comes together. But the motivation generally is for the loved ones. Like, say for myself, I created these films for my parents, and I know that that will be something that I look at when they're gone, or in a few years' time. Actually, the genesis for the company was I interviewed my granny when she was 86, and it was great because for me, as her grandchild, I had no idea about the life that she'd lived. And that's often the case between generations. We might know a little bit. Like, I kind of knew my grandma grew up in England and she lived through World War II, but that was it. Whereas when I did the interview and then when I've watched it again, I've gone, oh my God, she worked on the world's first computer. She drove trucks in World War II. How cool is that? And it's taken me to look at it as an older person to really get to know who she was. So it's really not a film so much for the person or people in them. We can do couple films. It's really more for your kids and your grandchildren to know where your family came from, what stories you have, because so often it just disappears. We have no idea. We have no idea who came before us or what challenges they went through. I'm doing a film in the next few weeks about someone who was born in a prisoner of war camp. I'm doing another film about someone who immigrated from Vietnam during the war. Um, and often we don't really know about the heroic stories in our families or the important stories. So it's a way to record that. It's oral history. And then the photos bring it to life too. So I think it's the sort of thing that people don't think to do because they don't know that this type of service exists. There aren't a huge amount of, I actually haven't found anyone who's doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing it. And it's the sort of thing that people often say to me, where were you 3 years ago before my dad passed? Because, oh my God, if I had that film, I would have watched it 100 times and I would have shown my kids. I'm so sorry to have missed this opportunity. So people say that to me a lot. And that's, I think, a huge motivator. Often people who've lost one parent will say, I'm not going to miss out on the second.
That's a really good reason why that we wanted to document all of this. So is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience today about your business and how it would help them?
Um, the films are for everyone. I'm just cutting one at the moment for someone who's 46. They are all ages. I think it would suit people who would like to have something special of their parents or their loved ones that they can pass on. And so that when it comes to years and years down the track, We're not all scrambling through photo albums. We're not all desperately trying to find photos in our videos in our phone. Like one thing that people say to me sometimes is, as soon as my whoever passed, I suddenly really wanted to hear their voice again. I suddenly was like, oh my God, where's that video where I can hear her laughing for 3 seconds? And all of a sudden they're going, oh my God, why didn't I record more? Why didn't I ask more? So really the films are for everyone. I think we should all have this for people that we love.
That is a beautiful way to actually end this. Thank you so much for sharing your business on our platform today, because it is something that is quite unique. It can be quite daunting for people, but I love the way that you're holding their hands, sharing their process in there to help them through these challenges.
Thank you so much, Martha. Appreciate coming on.
Thank you again for everyone for joining us on Business Monday. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks again.
Bye.